Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today, we have a WIP Chat. If you are new, though, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay, and I do mainly diamond painting content and some other crafting-related content, and I would just love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's all be friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. Fun fact, so I have this bag. I got this from Target maybe last year, and this is what I bring with me when I diamond paint on the go. And not that anyone is asking what's in it, but I usually have, well, I have my timer, and then I have a couple trays, some pens, things like that. I packed everything up last night because I am going to a crafting night at the library. I did this last month. That was the first time they had one, and I am doing it again. However, I didn't think about it when I packed my stuff up last night because clearly I'm diamond painting before I go to that. I just lost my hair tie. Fun scrunchie. Anyway, if you guys are wondering what we're doing here, we're doing a WIP Chat today, you guys. Fun. If you don't know what a WIP Chat is, that is when I work on my current WIP, WIP, which is work in progress. You can pull out whatever it is that you are working on, work alongside with me. It can be another craft project. It can be a household project. It can be while you're running errands, while you're doing chores around the house. Sorry, I'm just looking at my drills at the same time. There's really no wrong way to WIP Chat. I always say it, there's no right or wrong way to WIP Chat. Whatever it is that you want to be doing, do it. I have people who, they treat this like they're hanging out with a friend and they're listening. You know, whatever it is that you want to be doing. Sorry, I am definitely multitasking here and feeling very disorganized because, well, all of my stuff was just put away. And I'm trying to talk to you guys. You will see a wide variety of trays and pens and accessories and whatnot being utilized. I posted a new tray haul, so if you guys would like to see that one, I will link that one for you up in the eye. Hello, Lindsay. But I don't ever really go over what it is that I'm working with. So if there's ever something that you want to know, just let me know down below or shoot me a DM. I am not one of those people that, sorry to fellow content creators, this is probably not what you want to hear, but like when I watch somebody's video and they spend the first like 15 minutes of their video talking about all the different tools that they're using, I just fast forward. And for the most part, most people, I say this lovingly because I can't speak for all people who make content out there, but most people do leave that kind of information in their description box. So if I really do want to know what something is, I always take it upon myself and look. I did not mention what I'm working on. This is Mother Earth. This is my latest WIP. I finished my diamond painting shop Bootstrap Betsy, and I left a post review for that one up. If you would like to see that one, I will link that in the eye. I'm making a time note. I think that's wrong, Lindsay. Anyway, I don't think I ever unboxed this on my channel. I might have. I'd have to look. But if I did, I'll link it at some point in the video, I guess. I've had this canvas for so long. I want to say that I actually unboxed this on Instagram like 2+ years ago. So if you guys have ever watched Diamond Paintings by Laura, she does these videos where she plans out like the next couple months worth of canvases that she wants to work on. And like, I aspire to be that level of organized at some point in my life. It'll never happen, but I'm always impressed by it. But it made me think. I had put a post together, and this was in 2021, so 2 years ago now. And this was on my to-do list for that stretch of time. Now, interestingly enough, I have done every canvas on that list that I said I was going to do, except this one. And something about the timing of this just felt right. When I wanted to do it originally, something changed and I wasn't really into it. And, I don't know, something about this canvas. If you don't know what it looks like, I'll show a picture of it here, but it is, it's a Hannah Lynn, and It is a picture of a girl. I mean, I don't know if you can really tell her here. So, like, here's, like, the bottom of her dress, and then here's the bottom of her belly. But her belly is, like, the world. It's a globe. And I think it's a beautiful image. On one side, you have the nighttime sky at the top. On the other side, you have the day sky. And just, everything is, like, nature. And it's, we just had Earth Day. And something about it just spoke to me this time. And, you know, I've been craving doing these smaller canvases. Not smaller. This one is 56 by 76. So it's not a small canvas, but it's not overwhelmingly huge either. And I don't know. There's just something about this image that I absolutely love. And I'm super, super grateful that this was the time that spoke to me. So, yeah. But anyway, now that I've rambled on for God knows how long about pretty much next to nothing, I hope that you guys are all well. If you are new here, I ramble a lot, like a lot. And that's the thing that people either love or hate about me. So, feel free to make up your own decision. I also, if you guys didn't know, I am my best audience. So I also crack myself up. Because, like, if I can't laugh at myself, who's going to be able to laugh at me? You know? No, stop it. That's my husband. He's in the room, you guys. Say hi, husband.
Hi, husband.
Anyway, I've got a not so great, what did I get? A vanilla almond milk latte from Dunkin', and it's super dark, which, okay. But it doesn't taste like vanilla at all. And, I don't know that really tastes like almond milk much either. Anywho, let's get into it. I hope that you guys all had a wonderful weekend. You guys, my kiddo, her school year is almost over. And we were talking about it this morning while she was getting ready for school. And there's a huge part of me, like, as her mother, that, if you guys didn't know, I have a kiddo who is 5 years old, and she is in preschool and heading to kindergarten in the fall. I am not ready for my baby to be in kindergarten, but there's also a huge part of me that is like, oh man, the structure of school going away for the next couple months, like, I am, as a parent, I am not prepared for that. Because now it's going to be more so than it already is, okay? The constant, what are we doing today? Can we do this? I want to spend your money. Open your wallet. Let's do this. Let's do that. Let's do this. Can we go outside? Can we play with this? Can we go in the water? Can we, like, we don't have a pool, but she's going to ask to be outside and playing in the water. Even though I think she's too old for her water table. I don't know if she'll still enjoy it, but either way, we had a cool one from last year that had, like, boats, and it was a track, and we'll probably bust that back out again soon. But it's just, veteran parents, teach me your ways, because I am not prepared. My kiddo is still going to continue to have regular activities. Like, every week, my daughter currently, she figure skates at least twice a week, and that will continue during the summer. She will also have a week of skate camp, which I am excited for, and then she has zoo camp also. But other than that, the rest of summer is just kind of like a free-for-all. And I'm a little bit nervous. You guys. Last year, like, she wasn't in school, so it wasn't like she had all these things and then they went away. She just had me keeping her busy, or my husband and I keeping her busy, or whatever. And now it's, I'm nervous, you guys. Like, I'm really, really nervous. I just saw a chunk of a letter that I feel like I'm missing, and I don't know where it went. Maybe not. I don't know. This is moving along really nicely, by the way. I love Hannah Lynn. I don't know if you guys are Hannah Lynn people, but I love, like, the style with, like, the crisp black lines and then filling everything in. I love it. I love it. But yeah, so she's funny because she said to me, like, she definitely knows Mommy is sad that she's growing up. I'm sad because the older she gets, the less she needs me for, like, the little things. But it also means that she's growing up. And I really like seeing that because she has so much personality, you guys. It's unbelievable. I didn't expect to come out and cry about this already, you guys, but like I'm not ready. I'm feeling very overwhelmed with how quickly it feels like she's growing up. And then we found out for graduation, which, okay, we're allowed to have a total of 4 adults. My husband and I equal 2 adults. Well, who are the other 2 adults that we can include? If we invite his mom, who is local, then we can't invite my parents because that's too many people. And if we invite his mom, then we can't invite his dad because that's how life goes. And it's like, okay, well, do I deal with the wrath of not inviting people because the limitations of the tickets? Or do I just like not invite anyone and be like, listen, there was no way for us to make this fair, so we just didn't invite anyone. I don't know. We haven't quite figured out the solution to that problem yet. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. I mean, it sucks. It really sucks because, like, do I think my parents would come in for my daughter's graduation? Probably not. But do I think that they will be upset if I don't invite them? Yes. Which, if you guys watched last week's WIP Chat, the relationship has not shifted. So, you know, there's also that. Where is this random drill coming from? So I am working on, I mean, it's probably not a huge section compared to what I normally work on, but what is this on my canvas, you guys? Ew. Alright, that was weird. Anywho, I haven't told you guys anything yet. Nothing. Just sitting here going on and on about being nervous and my kid growing up. I'm just making sure I got all of those. So I was saying I love Hannah Lynn's stuff because like I love the color blocking and I love the crisp lines. And there's so much line blocking in this as well because of the way her dress is. And this is an older kit. Like I mentioned, I wanted to do this 2 years ago. And I am just impressed because if you guys have been diamond painting for a while, like you remember when Diamond Art Club would give you like a sprinkle of ABs and like you might get a couple colors, but it was never like that much. This one has a pretty decent sized container of, of the white ABs, which is their favorite. But anyway, so Sunday, let's start there. Sunday. Also, whoever decided to, I want to know, I obviously don't work for Diamond Art Club or any diamond painting company, but I want to know, is there like a person whose job it is to pick the symbols and the colors of like which ones go where and like things like that? Because I'm really, really curious about this. So, can you guys see this? So this is, there's always like a greater than or less than symbol. So you've got this one, and then you've got the up arrow caret, and then the V. So if you're rotating your canvas and you're working on things sideways, they all look like different symbols. And they're different colors, thankfully. Like one's purple, one's blue, and one's a brown gray. But still, it's very like, who decided that? I'm curious. Who decided that? All right, so I'm gonna just put you in here. Oh, I was using a different tray a minute ago. Anyway, so Sunday, took my daughter to a Learn to Skate Princess event. And if you're wondering what that is, they do Learn to Skate, which is pretty self-explanatory. And it's a program where kids could take an ice skating lesson and skate with the Disney princesses. My daughter was in the Aurora group. So her instructor was Aurora. And there was Belle, Rapunzel, Moana. There was Merida, the girl who was dressed up like Merida. She must have been like 12 years old. But the thing that I found really interesting is you had a bunch of people who had never been on ice before, which, you know, and then you had, so my daughter, I think, is considered level 2 in the Learn to Skate Basic 1 through 6. So this is super boring. I'm going to go over it like really, really quickly, and then I'm going to move on. So you have for like beginner levels, you have two things. You have Snowplow Sam, which is for 6 and under, or you have Basic 1 through 6. They overlap, but Basic 1 through 6 is basic levels 1 through 6. Once you get to the higher levels of that, then you can start doing like freestyle. And that's when you start doing some more of the like jumps and spins and things like that. So Basic 1 through 6 is exactly what it sounds like. You learn your basics. You learn how to skate. You learn how to stop. You learn how to fall, get up. Then there are certain things learning how to, like right now, Briar is working on pumping and stroking, which if you say it outside of an ice skating context sounds very inappropriate. I promise you it is not. But where are all these drills coming from? Was I like working in the dark last night? There's even more. And I don't think they're falling off my canvas. I think they just spilled somewhere. Anyway, so Briar, I think, was in level 2 on Sunday. And there were, I want to say, 2, if not more, of level 1, like 2 groups of level 1, which makes sense because you have all these kids who've never ice skated before or who've been on the ice like once or twice. And then I want to say there were 2 level 2s or maybe a level 2 and a level 3. And then there was one group of higher level skaters that had like 4 kids in it. But the amount of kids dressed in princess outfits, it was so cute. Like it was highly encouraged. Now, I don't know if you've ever ice skated before or if you like think about the concept of it, but the amount of people who put their kid in a floor length gown and then put them on foot knives, basically, I was like, ooh, we're going to have some issues here. And there were quite a few kids who like they couldn't get back up when they fell because they were tripping into their dress. And there was a little girl whose parents were right near us, and I felt bad because I can tell you, without even watching their daughter ice skate, I could tell you that he put his daughter in the wrong size skates. And they had 3 different times they had to have her skates readjusted. And then her dress had to be tied up, and it was just, funny. But like Briar was like, but I want to skate with Rapunzel. And I was like, I'm sorry, kiddo. Rapunzel seemed to be very, very popular. There were a lot of kids dressed like Rapunzel. My daughter was dressed like Rapunzel. She does have, I was making sure that's the right color. She does have a couple of like the princess dresses, like the Disney princess dresses, like Disney branded. But we had gotten her like a play dress, like a little cotton dress in the style of Rapunzel for a Disney trip. And we never got to wear it because she got the flu and got sick. And that made me sad. But this was the perfect time to wear it because it was, like knee length at most. So it didn't interfere with her ability to ice skate. And it's funny because I think people assume my daughter is much younger than she is because she's very petite. And I just remember like this one person being like, wow, she's really, really good. And I was like, thank you. And then they overheard me telling another parent that my child was 5. And I think that they thought my kid was like significantly younger. Don't get me wrong. I think my daughter is insanely talented for just in general. But like, I don't know. Sorry, I was just making sure. There's so many like random numbers that I have to make sure that I'm not putting the wrong one in the wrong place. But anyway, so the ice skating event, it was a lot of fun. Briar skated with her princess. And then they all got to take like photos with the princesses. And this was put on by a local skate club, not the one for our home rink, but it is the rink closest to our house. It was a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that we did it. And afterwards, there was like a make your own tiara, and there was also snacks. But with us being dye free, if you guys are new here, we've recently cut out all artificial coloring from our diet. I have a huge chunk of this color that I missed. So sometimes it's a little bit more complicated because I don't know what the ingredients are for something. Some things are easier to tell because they've got the boxes there, but like they had just pastries like on a tray. And I honestly didn't see anybody eating them. I think because nobody was like physically telling people like, come get a snack. But I felt really bad. So this is one of the things about me, like as a parent, kind of like as a human being in general, I don't really take like injustices very well. Let's just say that. And I know this isn't an actual injustice, but it's just an easy way to describe what I'm talking about. I will make no qualms about it when something is happening, people aren't being considerate, things like that. So, super nutshell story. They had all of the tiaras and all of the art supplies. They were basically like soft tiaras on an elastic. And then they had stickers and things you could decorate them with. Cool. They probably came from like Oriental Trading Company or something like that. If you guys don't know what that is, it's like a company that sells things inexpensive in bulk. A lot of people will use it for DIY, for parties, weddings, things like that. And Briar was super upset because there was no room at the table for her. However, it was guaranteed that every child could make a tiara. And I knew that. So I reassured her, like, I promise you, you'll get a turn. But I was not quiet when I mentioned multiple times that hopefully, once parents are done with their kid, they will move them out of the way so that the rest of us can get in. And I had one woman giving me like death stares, like I was saying something super inappropriate and super rude. And I wasn't. Like, I wasn't saying you can't be here. I'm just saying when you're done making your tiara, move out of the way so the rest of us can make ours. While I was sitting on the bench waiting for a spot to open up for my daughter, I was talking with this woman and she looked at me and we were talking, and I had said, you know, my daughter's been doing Learn to Skate for 2 years now, and she had asked me a couple questions, and then she asked me the dreaded money question and said, "Is this sport expensive?" To which I looked her dead in the eyes and I said, yes, it is. And I think she was a little taken aback by that. Like, if you just do it recreationally and you just go to, like, public skate or something like that and not take lessons, like, obviously it's not going to be as much money. But once you factor in, you have to pay for a membership to Learn to Skate USA. You have, eventually, you buy your own equipment, additional ice time, private lessons, all of the gear. Like, it adds up quickly. And I wasn't going to lie about it because it is expensive. And we knew it going in that it was an expensive sport. But let me tell you, we did not realize how expensive this sport was. And I'm not saying that because I'm looking for sympathy or anything like that. Like, this is our choice to allow our child to sign up for an expensive sport and then encourage her to continue doing it. But, oh my gosh, you guys, it just made me laugh. And, like, she was so shocked by my answer. But, like, if somebody had been able to sit down with me when we first started getting into this, like, it would have been a lot more helpful, you know, knowing what to expect and what's next and the true cost of these things. You know, sometimes you just kind of figure it out along the way, and other times, you know, you have no idea. And I honestly feel like I have no idea, like 98% of the time. I do have another crafting mom that I talk to that I met, like, through Instagram, whose daughter ice skates, and we do talk about things, competitions, costs, coaches, things that like nobody tells you, and you just are kind of expected to figure it out on your own. So I'm very thankful for that. But the princess event was fantastic. Briar loved every single minute of it, and we are definitely getting to that age now where you can tell that she's realizing that, hey, I've met princesses before, but these don't look like the princesses I met. And she even said that to me. She's like, they look different than the ones that I met when we were at the one restaurant. And I was like, oh, maybe you're just not used to seeing them in their equipment. And I know that day where she's going to put 2 and 2 together is going to come. But I don't know if she realizes that these are just people dressed up like princesses. Like the one woman that was there, we see her at our rink every single week when we have our lessons, and she interacts with my daughter. She was dressed like a fairy godmother, so maybe like that's not something she'll question, you know what I mean? Because like there were so many fairy godmothers when we went to Disney in the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique. I feel like I have spent the entire video just talking about one day. But anyway, in a nutshell, the event was fantastic. My daughter had the best time ever, and it was super fun. And I highly encourage if you or someone in your life, and when I say you, I mean you as the adult, if someone in your life wants to ice skate, even though I'm sitting here telling you it's expensive, it's totally worth it. They have learn to skate programs for kids, adults, everyone in between, and you do not have to have any skill, any talent, anything to try ice skating. And I've convinced one of my friends who she's in her 20s and she wants to ice skate. She wants to learn and she's scared of falling. And I said, so get some pads, get some knee pads, get some crash pads, get a helmet. Just once you learn how to do it and you do it safely, then you'll learn how to do the skills, because she wants to learn how to ice skate. So if you are somebody who wants to learn how to ice skate, just look up learn to skate and then your area, and I'm sure you will find a program near you. So, the next day was just a typical day. We went to school. I think we grabbed some food from the market. Nothing exciting. The day after that, Tuesday, we had tots, which is our, I think it's 7 and under, 8 and under ice skating that we do. I love tots. I love tots so much. That's what we've been doing for our group lessons since day one. However, if my daughter gets AM kindergarten next year, we won't be able to do tots anymore. And then the conundrum is, can I do the learn to skate at the local rink closest to me instead of going to the rink that we already go to? Because A, it's cheaper, B, it's closer, but like, am I going to be stepping on my coach's toes if I take my daughter elsewhere? I don't know. I mean, I'm going to obviously have to talk to her about it, because like, I don't want to do something that's going to jeopardize the relationship my daughter has with her coach, because I decided I wanted to save money, which I think her coach would understand, but listen, it's the politics of everything, which is crazy that I have to think like, I want to make sure I have to ask for permission before just doing it.
Before spending your money.
I know. I know. But it's true, because like, I don't want to alienate my daughter from her coach, because if that happens, then the only other coach I know, I think, charges even more than the one we already have. And, it's funny. The other coach coaches at all of the local rinks, and mine only coaches at our rink. And like, I want to be like, can I just take a lesson from you at one of the other 2 rinks? I live within a half hour of 3 ice skating rinks. Of course, my daughter takes lessons at the ones furthest away from my house. But when I tell you there are 2 ice skating rinks within 10 minutes of me, like, I would rather, especially if it's going to be a nighttime class where like, I'm going to have to figure out dinner and travel. Like, I would much rather not be driving on the highway during rush hour and making sure that my kid eats dinner at like 4 o'clock or 7 o'clock. Like, it is what it is. But, so we did that. And then afterwards, we decided to go get Mexican food. This place used to be like my number one go-to all the time. And it has gone so downhill. And I don't know if it's like they have trouble with keeping servers or if the kitchen staff just keeps rotating. But like, the quality of food has gone down immensely. And I had a pretty okay meal, but the best was, my daughter, after having a long conversation with her, decided, I have to go to the bathroom and I have to go to the bathroom now. And I was like, cool. You couldn't have gone to the bathroom before all the food came out. Now my food's going to sit here and get cold. But little did I know, and this might be a TMI story for some people, little did I know that my daughter had to actually like poop. Okay. She doesn't usually tell me in advance, like when we're out or even at home, that she has to poop, which I don't care. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, I can't believe you pooped in public. Like, girl, get it out, but I would like to know if I'm going to be sitting in a bathroom for 15 minutes, what I mean? So she was in a stall and a woman was in the stall next to her. And I heard noises and I wasn't sure which stall it was coming from. And I had a conversation with my daughter afterwards. And I said to her, did you flush the toilet? My daughter, if you guys have kids, grandkids, siblings, whatever, that like, let me know if this is something you guys deal with. Like, she legit never flushes the toilet, and it's problematic at home. Obviously, like, if I'm out in public, I can remind her or flush for her or whatever. But at home, when she's in her own bathroom, I'm not with her most of the time. And I always just find out after the fact, which is so fun. But I heard the toilet flush, and I asked her if that was her because I wasn't sure if it was her or the stall next to her. And of course she's like, yeah, I flushed the potty. And I was like, okay, cool. And then she gets up and I'm like, indeed, you did not flush the toilet. And she's like, I forgot. Like, girl, your butt was literally on the toilet 3 seconds ago. What do you mean you forgot? But yeah, that was an interesting, and we've come to the conclusion. So she likes Mexican food. Her tastes have shifted, which is allowable and acceptable and to be expected. But she, always wants to order like a hot dog or a hamburger or whatever. And I'm like, why? We're at like the Mexican restaurant and they have Mexican food and you like Mexican food. Well, we figured it out. Part of the thing is the tacos that they have are on the same plate as the beans, and they're refried beans, and they don't separate them. So by the time she picks up her taco, it's soggy and it falls apart, and then she has a really hard time eating it. Also, my daughter, like, she has no problem eating certain things, but then she doesn't want to touch them. Bananas are, like, a prime example. Like, she'll eat a banana. She'd eat a banana every single day if I let her. Meanwhile, I'm like, no, thank you. But if it falls out of the peel or a piece falls on the floor, she will not pick it up. She will not touch it. Which is super fun. The one day, like, she flat out refused, and I was like, girlfriend, you have to pick that up or we're going to get ants. And so I was like, here's a napkin. So she used a napkin and she's like, oh, okay. I'm like, it's all right. Like, you can always wipe your fingers afterwards. But as somebody who also deals with like sensory sensitivities and sensory issues and things like that, like, I get it, but I also need you to like figure out how to pick up your food that you're dropping on the floor. But we did that, and then did a quick little post office run. The next day was Wednesday. We dropped her off at school. I believe that was the day that I started this kit. I've only worked on her for a few days, and I'm really enjoying it. I feel like, I don't know how much I've gotten done, but I really, really love... Man, I love doing around Hannah Lynn. There's something about it. It just, I was saying this to Lori, One Fun Diamond Painter. It just feels like home to me. Like, I don't do a ton of Hannah Lynn's. I've done quite a few. But this particular one, there's something about it. All the bright colors, all of the color blocking, all of the black outline, in my comfort zone. I like the 50 something by 70 something size. Like, that's a good size for me. It fits well enough on my desk. I don't feel like I'm struggling to work on it. There's something comforting about this. And the last kit I did was not super big. It was 50 by 65. And I have an idea of what I want to do next. That is also not a huge kit. I mean, obviously things change. But you know, I'm enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this. Let's see. Oh, and so Wednesday, my husband said to me, like, what do you want to do for lunch? So I had said, I kind of want to do sushi. Now, we have a Japanese restaurant near us. And we don't go very often because their sushi is just meh at best. And honestly, I am one of those people, like, I don't understand how I can buy the same thing for lunch and dinner. Like, their portion sizes aren't any different, but it's like twice as much money at dinner time. So I said, why don't we go for lunch? And they have like the 2 rolls for $9 or 3 rolls for $12, whatever it is. And so we did that. And, my husband definitely did not enjoy it as much as my kiddo did, but she likes California rolls. That's her favorite. And I got her a mango avocado roll because I know she likes mangoes and avocado. And I thought at the very least, like, that's a simple roll that even if she doesn't want to eat it, like, one of us will eat it. And she went to town. She loved it. She was doing so good. But they forgot to put our appetizer in. This is the week of, like, not great food experiences. And they forgot to put our appetizer in, and our whole entree came out, and we were, like, done. And I was going to say something about it, and I mentioned the appetizer, and the waitress, like, scurried off and put it in. But at that point, we didn't want it anymore because we had already eaten our lunch. But yeah, I enjoyed that, and, then we had a little This restaurant in particular has a pretty steep step to go in or out of the restaurant. And my daughter does not ever pay attention to her surroundings or look or anything. And so she nearly missed the drop off and then tried to like run into the street, which I'm like, oh my God. So she has this obsession with wanting to be the line leader because they have that at school and it's very, very important to her. She wants to be that role. And I'm like, listen, you can be the line leader, kiddo, but you can't ever be the first one out of the restaurant because you bolt towards the street and it's not safe. Of course, that's not how she sees it, but you know, how are we on time? Okay. So I moved pretty quickly. I'm trying to figure out, this is one thing. As somebody who like talks, I don't want to say for a living because like this isn't paying my bills, but this is what I do in my free time. I often find myself either spending way too much time on certain days or activities or like literally not enough time. Did I just pour? Okay. Ooh. This color, you guys, it's 740, but it's like super, super vibrant and I am loving it. Take another sip real quick. So Thursday, I had my long-awaited hair appointment. I shouldn't say long-awaited. If you guys are new here, a couple months ago, I chopped off and donated 20 inches hair. And then for the first time in my life, dyed my hair. I am a natural blonde. I dyed my hair red. And I absolutely loved it. But when I booked the first appointment and then I paid for it, they ask you if you wanted to schedule a follow-up. And I was like, let me see how I feel about it before I commit to doing it again. So, super long story short, I decided I love the red. It faded very naturally that there was like a hint of strawberryness to my hair still, but my hair was not red anymore. And she took the same level of red that is my blonde. So I forget what number it was. Let's just call it a 7. I'm just making this up. So she used a level 7 red so that when it faded and my hair started to grow out, I wouldn't get a stark line, which I didn't at all. And in all honesty, like somebody who wasn't me probably wouldn't have even looked at my hair and thought twice. Of course, I could see the blonde coming in. Like, even my husband was like, it's not as noticeable as you think it is. And I was like, okay. So I went and I had my hair appointment. The girl who does my hair, she's absolutely fantastic. And she has her own salon and she makes her own hours and all of that fun stuff. But she has a couple other stylists, but there's only ever one in the salon at a time. So you don't have to worry about dealing with anybody else or anything like that. And I didn't feel like I was rushed or anything like that. It was just, it's a very pleasant experience. Although at the end, her boyfriend, fiance was there and like we were all talking and I was just like, I gotta go. My husband texted me. He's like, are you on your way home? And I was like, I'm trying to. And it was just funny. But I did my hair again and I scheduled, so my kiddo graduates next month. If you guys didn't know, I let her dye her hair, I don't know, like 2 months ago, something like that. And she wanted, her hair's blonde. She wanted pink tips like Gwen from Spider-Man. She really enjoys, my kiddo does not watch TV like an average child. And not because I'm one of those people that's like, screen time will rot your brain. I never set out to be this mom. I was just given the kid I was given. And it's a child who, like, it is the end of the world when the TV has to end. And when the TV is on, nothing else matters. So my kid turns into a zombie. It's been like this since she was a baby. Transitions in general for my daughter are very, very difficult. And it just became, like, problematic. So we just stopped watching TV. And she gets, like, outside of, like, rainy days, because that's when we do movies and stuff like that. She gets one episode of TV a day before bed, after dinner, before bed, if there's time, and if her behavior has warranted it. Like, if she's having a shit day and she's acting awful, I'm not gonna be like, here's 30 minutes of TV. But at the same token, that also means that I can't just put the TV on and get like a chore done, because then I have to deal with the aftermath of that. So she has recently discovered Spidey and His Amazing Friends, which, if you don't know, is Spider-Man as a child and his friends. So it's Spidey, Miles, Gwen, and then all of the villains are also kids. And so she's super, super into Gwen. Gwen has the blonde hair with the pink tips, and, you know, fine. I enjoy it, kid. Like, have fun. And if you had asked me a couple years ago, I would have said, like, that's crazy. I would never allow my daughter to dye her hair. Like, why would I encourage something like that? And then I had my kid. So you guys, if you've been around, have heard me say, and this is a phrase that I live by: you are the best parent in the world before you have kids. Every single person who has children, every single person, doesn't matter if they live here, if they live there, if they live on a different planet, every single person in the world thinks, I'm never going to allow my child to do insert whatever here, or my child will never behave like that, or my child will do this, or they won't do that. And then you have a kid and you realize that's not how it works. You know, you think it's so easy. Like, I remember before I had Briar, being like, I would never allow my child to act like that in public. And then you realize it's not that your child is misbehaving in public. It's that your child is learning about emotions. They're learning how to regulate their own emotions. Or when they're babies, like, have you guys seen the video of the guy flipping out on the Southwest flight that the baby's crying and it's interrupting him and he's yelling? And, like, this is very, very recent. And he's yelling, and the flight attendants are talking to him and trying to, you know, get him to calm down, and he's freaking out, and he's like, well, the baby's yelling. Yeah, because it's a baby, but you're a grown man and you're sitting here throwing a temper tantrum. You can't control your own emotions. How do you expect a baby to? Also, if you've ever traveled with a small child, nobody is more annoyed and more freaked out by a child crying than the parent or guardian of that child, because all they want is for that kid to stop crying. But as an adult, you can say, I'm hungry. The pressure is hurting my ears. Like, you can convey those things. You can't as a baby. Anyway, so super long story short, I never thought that I would allow my daughter ever to do something to her hair, especially as a young child. And then I realized this is how my daughter is choosing to express who she is. It's not permanent. It's not going to damage anything. It just is her trying to show who she is to the world. And I let her do it. And, like, I had somebody say something to me, and I don't think they meant it in a rude tone, but they were like, you didn't let her bleach her hair, did you? No, I didn't, because she's got blonde hair. But also, as a parent, that's my decision to make if I wanted to bleach my daughter's hair or not. Side note, I didn't bleach my own hair either when I got my hair dyed. That was one of the things I had said to my stylist, is that I have blonde hair. I don't want to have to bleach it. So it should be light enough to absorb whatever color, and it was. And so I made an appointment I said, do you have anything before my kiddo graduates? I want to let her come back in, get her hair done however she wants. Now she's talking about she wants green hair because she likes Electra. And honestly, like, I wouldn't be surprised if she's like, can I have it part green and part pink? Like, all right, kid, you do you. Like
a watermelon. She
would look like a watermelon. Actually, that'd probably be really cute on her. Maybe I'll let her do a split dye where, like, half of her hair is one color, half is another. I think she'd love it. I think Morgan would have a fun time doing that. But it's one of those things, and also it allows my daughter and I to have that time together. If you guys have small children in your life, you may have heard of this concept before, but it's like the 10-minute miracle, where, in a nutshell, if you just spend 10 minutes uninterrupted, just you and your child, it helps them reconnect, if they're having a hard day or whatever it may be. And it's a really good, I don't want to say parenting tool, but it's a really good way to like recharge, and sometimes you're having a bad day, or your kid's having a bad day, or your spouse is having a bad day, or whatever it may be. And these are always a really good thing to just spend that time. And it doesn't have to be anything magical. It doesn't have to be anything like, it doesn't have to be you taking your kid to the hair salon. It could literally be you guys. We've been doing this a lot, sitting outside and just reading together. I'm reading to her because she can't read yet, which is funny. She's like, I can't wait to go to kindergarten and learn how to read so that I can read to you, mommy. And I was like, can't wait. Because if it were up to her, I would read to her 24 hours a day. And I love my kid, but I'm not about that life. Like some people just don't like playing with their kids. Like I don't mind reading to her, but I don't want to read for like an hour. I just don't. But anyway, so her having that one-on-one time with mommy, I think is really good, even though there's a stylist involved and it's not just her and mommy, but it's me focusing on her. And at the same token, the hairstylist is focusing on her, and that makes her feel good too. And, like my husband's going to have some one-on-one time with her later today. But anyway, while I was there, I got an appointment or a call. On Friday, I was supposed to see my chiropractor. I see a chiropractor for regular maintenance. I deal with sciatica and just a lot of fun stuff because, you know, once I hit 40, my body was like, just kidding. And I was like, thanks, body. But my chiropractor, it's her clinic. She has stepped away from Fridays. Well, mind you, I'm getting this call on Thursday after I have already confirmed my appointment for Friday that she's no longer in the office on Fridays and I need to change my appointment. And I'm like, okay, I'm a little bit frustrated because like you really only knew this less than 24 hours from my appointment. It was like 18 hours away from my appointment. But, and then I tried to reschedule, and obviously there's not as much availability because now everybody who is scheduled on Friday is trying to reschedule. And I don't have... The one thing I always thought when my kid went to school is that I would have so much more time to get stuff done. But I really don't, because she doesn't go to school for that long. And by the time we drop her off and then do the adult things that we need to do, like going to the post office, going to the grocery store, going whatever we have to do, like there's not a lot of time to do anything else. So when I have a chiropractor appointment, sure, they can guarantee that like I can be seen in X amount of time, but I also go on the decompression table, which takes 12 minutes, which is not that long, okay? But if there are 6 people waiting in line for the decompression table, there's 2 people going at a time, that means I have to wait 48 minutes before I can even get onto a table, like a minimum. And it's like, I don't always have an hour to sit around. I was scheduling all of my appointments for Friday morning because that's what worked best with my kiddo schedule, my schedule, and it's just a bummer that I'm going to have to change all of that now. And I'm also hoping that I can get in. I mean, I guess once school ends, it'll be a little bit easier. Like, my husband can take Briar and they can head over to the outlets that are across the street or whatever while I'm in my appointment. Like, I don't have to worry about, like, I have to be back to pick her up. She has camp coming up, so I don't want to schedule them during like her camp sessions because I don't know. Anyway, that's totally boring stuff. So it was just very frustrating that I'm sitting there and now I have to deal with that appointment while I'm in a different appointment. And the girl who was doing my hair was totally cool about it. It just felt like an unnecessary frustration. And then I was like, well, can we reschedule my next one? And they're like, oh, you can do that when you come in office. And I was like, oh, okay. The longer I wait, the less opportunity I'm going to have to get an appointment that works with my schedule. But yeah, okay. I just lost that drill. And that, my friends, is why I always have drills all over my desk, because I drop them, I pop them, pop, lock, and drop it. But anyway, where am I at? So that was Thursday. I don't think we did anything else. I came home. I went to pick up some energy drinks for my husband. And he told me what he wanted and sent me a picture of it. Cool. All right. Well, there were 2 cans that were the same color, and I didn't know that, and they were on the top shelf. And by the time I got it off the top shelf, because I'm short, I realized it was not the right one, and I was like, God damn it. Have you ever had to like, put a drink back on one of those shelves in a convenience store? Like, if everything is slid down already, you have to, like, shove everything back to put it back in? Yeah. And, of course, like, this one person who was significantly taller than me was just, like, staring at me struggling. Like, normally, that would be when my husband would help, but he wasn't there, so... Anyway, I don't think we did anything else that day. For some reason, my Google Maps, I looked at my timeline, and it just has me, it says, like, driving. And then it'll show, like, a visit or something for X amount of minutes, but it doesn't tell me, like, where I was. Which, that's how I remember what I did all week long. Some people may be able to remember things like that, but honestly, like, unless I'm talking about something that happened that day or the day before, I probably don't really remember the specifics. So me telling you guys, like, what I do from day to day, like, it's literally me just looking at my timeline on Google and being like, oh yeah, we went there, I'll tell a story about that. And that's it. That's really, that's how exciting it is for me as a person telling you about my day. So the next day was Friday. It was Purple Day at school. My kiddo went down to the library, which is, they walk down to the library once a month. The library's on the same street. And she loves library day, and she was so excited about wear purple. I picked out a really cute outfit. Originally, I had this purple, like a grape purple skirt, and she had said to me, Mommy, I want the purple skirt, the squiggly skirt. And I was like, the squiggly skirt? I'm like, what is she talking about? And then I realized what she was talking about. And indeed, it does make sense. It's super, super cute. It has, it's a psychedelic print. I'll put a picture of it right here. Let me write down. And skirt. It was a psychedelic print, and it had these tiny little squiggles all over it. But if you didn't realize, like, that's what the print was, you would have had no idea what she was talking about. So I just gave her this really cute outfit. It's a pair of handmade knee-highs, handmade. I do a lot of handmade clothing, which I remember, like, a local mom to me was like, I can't believe you spend that kind of money on clothing for your kid. And I was like, well, when your kid doesn't fit anything off the rack, it's fantastic. And it's not like I'm paying that much more for a handmade item than I would be paying for something that was, like, from Target. I mean, certain things, like, if I'm paying $4 for something from Cat and Jack, it's not going to stay together. Although, Cat and Jack, you can actually replace things. I'm not going to get into that story, but if you didn't know that, like, I think if you have your receipt, you can exchange it, like, within a year. Don't quote me on that. I know it exists, and I know it's real. I just don't have the details. But anyway, where am I? So Purple Day. And then I went to lay out her clothes. I usually lay out her clothes the night before. Sometimes I don't do it while she's awake. I go in, I check on her before I go to bed every night. And I had seen her ice skating necklace that I bought her broken on the floor. And this is now the second time that it has broken. And I reached out to the Etsy shop that I purchased it from. And they were like, we never have problems with this, let alone twice. And I was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, this is not very well made. I'm like, I wasn't implying that they, like, don't know what they're doing. But at the same token, if I've had to replace this twice in under a month, then it's not being made to the level at which they are conveying it's being made. I am assuming, and there's absolutely no problem with this, that they are just buying a roll of chain, cutting it to length, and then making their, like, putting the charms on their own C-clamps and things like that. And that's totally fine. It's just, it's frustrating that I have to now spend money on a nicer chain because whatever they keep sending, it just keeps breaking. So that's a bit frustrating. And I said something to my daughter when she woke up in the morning, and she, you know, she didn't deny that it was broken. Sometimes things like that, like, she won't want to say something because she thinks she's going to get in trouble. But I was like, girl, I literally walked into your room and I thought it was a clear string. I could see something reflecting. And then I realized that it was her chain. And then I turned on my flashlight on my phone, and it has 3 charms. It has a bee for her initial, her birthstone, and an ice skate. And I found 2 of the 3, and I was like, oh, man. And the chain itself had snapped, like, in the chain links, not at the clasp. So, like, I know I was just upset. So now I have to find her another chain. If anybody has any, like, chain recommendations that, like, legit are going to hold up, please let me know. Because, like, my sister she's a jewelry retailer. And I know I could reach out to her and be like, hey, sister, can you send me a chain? But I also don't need, like, a high-end chain. And it needs to be small enough because my kiddo's only 5. Like, an 18-inch chain is going to be too long on her. But anyway, that was Friday. So then my husband and I, when my daughter goes to school on Fridays, we have a breakfast date at a local restaurant. We've been doing that now for at least a couple weeks, if not more. Obviously, when my kiddo is home all summer, we're not going to be able to do it the same way we were. But my kiddo is also going to school half days next year, so maybe we can incorporate, I don't know if it'll be breakfast or another meal because I don't know what time she's going to school. But yeah, we enjoy doing that, and it's nice to spend that kind of time together. And so we did, and we had breakfast together, and it's funny, our waiter's like, hey guys, it's been a while, and he walked away, and I said to my husband, I don't remember ever seeing this guy in my life, and he's like, me neither. Now, I am not, my husband is somebody who, like, he'll never remember your name, but he'll always remember your face, and so when we were both like, I don't know who this is, like, maybe he thought we were someone else, or maybe he was just trying to be super friendly, but, like, we were both like, oh, okay, and we were, super nice about it, but where did that... I just saw you. I had missed this symbol somewhere. I would love to say, guys, do you see it? But by the time you see it, if you see it... Oh, here it is. This video have already been filmed and aired. Anyway, how are we on time? Oh, not very good. So, we went to ice skating. We had a private lesson. My kiddo did really, really well. Sometimes she has no desire to, like, put in any kind of effort. She's super distracted. It is what it is. It's just the life of a 5-year-old. But she did a really good job, and she is starting to work on new skills, and she is hoping to perform, as she calls it, this summer for her first competition, which I'm excited and nervous about. And then yesterday we were talking and she's like, well, what if I don't win? And I go, then you don't win. That's okay. And she's like, oh, okay. I'm not putting that kind of pressure on her that, like, you need to win the medal for this to be worth your time, or, I don't want her to build her self-worth on whether she wins or loses something, because, in life, and I tell her this all the time, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, there will always be people who have more than you and always have people who will have less than you. And that goes for skills and talents as well. It really does not matter. Like, you're always going to find somebody who's better at something than you are. Always. And you're always going to find someone that you're better than. Always. That's why if you're the top athlete in the world, for whatever sport, like if you're the fastest runner in the world, that doesn't mean that you're going to forever only be the person to get gold medals. Like, sometimes you have a bad day. Sometimes somebody has an amazing day and it's unexpected, and that just is what it is. So, not that I don't want my daughter to put forth the effort, but I don't want her to base her entire self-worth on that, if that makes sense. We went to dinner with my mother-in-law. Side note, we went to Ruby Tuesdays. If anybody is interested in getting one of their new cheesesteaks, don't. Listen, I am from the Philadelphia area, so I grew up eating, like, true, authentic cheesesteaks, which, stop telling people that real Philly cheesesteaks have bell peppers in them. No, they don't. Stop. I don't know who started that rumor, but it's not true. But that was one of the worst cheesesteaks I've ever had, and it had large chunks of red onion. Like, when it gets too close to the edge of the onion and it's, like, papery? Yeah, like chunks. Like inch squares of that. Ugh. Anyway, but that was nice to be able to spend some time with my mother-in-law, and, my daughter loved that. And then, Saturday, I'm not going to be able to have enough time here, am I? So Saturday, I took my daughter to the spring skate show over for the Hershey Figure Skating Club, and we got to go to the Giant Center, which is the arena that they have here in Central PA. So all of like the stadium concerts that are arena ones, like the indoor ones, are all at the Giant Center. It's where all of the Hershey Bears hockey is played. It's a great venue for my daughter to see ice skating in. Like, it's where Disney on Ice is and stuff like that. And so we went to the spring show. It was absolutely fantastic. She lasted a lot longer than I anticipated, but I was hoping, I'm trying to get her to understand that when she does compete, or perform as she calls it, that she understands that, like, you can't just be done when you're done skating. Like, you have to wait, and you have to support your fellow skaters, and like, you have to wait for the medal ceremony. Like, you can't just up and leave because you're done. Like, that's not how it works. So I need her to express some patience, which is hard for her. She did pretty well. We had a horrific rainstorm, like awful, to the point that like the power went out in the entire rink, the entire facility while we were there. And there was a girl skating, and I'm pretty sure that she was mid-air or taking off when the lights went out. So that was a little like nerve-wracking. I was nervous for her. You could see she was like visibly shaken when she stopped and came back to it. But I mean, I ended up like deep in the rain. Like, it was one of those rainstorms where I had to carry her to the car because she was never going to make it quick enough. And I was wearing flip-flops, so I was like sliding out of my shoes, so I couldn't run as fast as I wanted to. And it was just a mess, but she had a fantastic time. My husband got a lot of work accomplished because he stayed home while we did that. And I think this is probably a good place to end because I am over the hour mark. So I will tell you guys all about the disaster that was Sunday. But that's it. That's all I got for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this. If you guys liked this video and you'd like to see more videos like this or nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come and join our Sparkle Squad. And while you're there, hit that notification bell.
Dang.
I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time. I record when my tiny human is sleeping, or at school. If you guys made it all the way to the end, leave me some sort of earth or nature emojis. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic week. Bye, guys!